Welcome to Apartment Luxe, where luxury meets imagination.
Paris arrives like a whisper of silk against skin. At the height of the skyline, just beyond the last rational tier of architecture, a single residence crowns the city, Dior Paradox, a penthouse suspended between reality and couture, where the rules of construction seem tailored rather than engineered. The entrance corridor feels like stepping into the lining of a gown. Walls curve inward, like the cinched waist of the bar jacket, narrow at the start before flaring outward with architectural grace. They are upholstered in dove gray silk, quilted so finely that the stitching appears like pencil sketches. Atelier marks trapped beneath satin, ghost signatures of hands that shape the world. Then light. The corridor releases into the living room, with the drama of a runway reveal. A full wall of glass frames the Arc de Triomphe at perfect alignment, as though the monument itself were placed for this apartment, not the other way around. The living room curves in a gentle crescent, echoing the flow of haute couture skirts. Custom sofas in satin blush upholstery spiral in sculptural shapes, their bases flaring like gowns arrested mid-twirl. Between them stands a coffee table carved from a single block of alabaster, its edges draped in contours like the folds of muslin before a dress is born. On the far side, a fireplace in Dior gray stone rises like a pleated panel, the flame framed by chrome seams shaped like softened tailoring tools. The curve of shears, the arc of a pattern maker's compass. Every surface feels touched by intention. Nothing is literal, nothing is theme park. It is couture made habitable, as though the maison itself had tailored a home the way it tailors a body. The dining room is a paradox of restraint and spectacle. A monolithic table in frosted resin resembles tulle captured beneath ice, backlit from within, glowing like a runway underfoot. 14 chairs in pearl leather cinch inward at the back before flaring at the base. The silhouette unmistakably bar jacket without ever naming it. Overhead, a chandelier constructed from cascading chrome ribbons twists in upward spirals, like airborne fabric caught in perpetual motion. A sculpture of wind and light, unreal, and yet engineered with perfect functionality. The kitchen is an atelier masquerading as a domestic space. Cabinetry of matte white lacquer folds like pleats. Brass pulls resemble elongated embroidery needles, slender and elegant. The central island tapers like a bodice, narrow at the waist, then expands outward into a marble skirt of cascading stone layers, each stratum veined with blush undertones. Appliances vanish into the architecture, paneled beneath silk-wrapped surfaces that would seem impractical if not for the precision of their integration. It feels less like a place to cook and more like a chamber for creation, a studio where gastronomy becomes performance. From here, a gallery hallway extends, but not as storage or display. It behaves like a salon. Along one wall, recessed vitrines hold couture artifacts that are not garments but silhouettes. Resin studies of draping, chrome interpretations of pleating, carved stone that mimics the tension of fabric pulled taut. At the far end of the salon, the world bends again. A transition space curves upward, as if the architecture itself were inhaling. The ceiling narrows, the floor widens, proportions shifting like measurements changing on a pattern table. The bar jacket silhouette, translated into spatial rhythm. Beyond this point lies the private realm. The first bedroom presents itself as a crescendo in grayscale. A monumental bed rises on a platform of pearl marble, the edges curved like the hem of a gown sweeping across a runway. Headboard panels arc backward in layered tiers, like pleats opening around a torso, upholstered in dove gray mohair and edged with chrome seam lines. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame the Arc de Triomphe, perfectly centered as though the architecture itself had been tailored around the view. A seating area in satin blush velvet curves around a sculptural table of alabaster and chrome, like a ruffle of fabric sculpted into permanence. Every gesture feels precise, like a garment fitted against the city. The ensuite bathroom continues the narrative. Calicata viola, marble with violet veining, wraps the walls in billowing draped volumes, each vein aligned to mimic the flow of embroidered vines. A freestanding tub carved from translucent alabaster glows from within, an internal light warming the stone like fabric beneath stage lighting. Twin vanities curve inward, narrowing like a bodice, before flaring outward in stone skirts beneath each basin. Fixtures in polished chrome and brushed platinum resemble the shapes of pins and shears, softened, abstracted, and scaled into jewelry for the room. The second master suite shifts tone. Dior Homme rendered residential. Walls clad in smoked oak paneling feel like the interior of a bespoke suit, grain aligned like pressed seams. A bed in deep charcoal mohair rests beneath a canopy of blackened steel ribs, shaped like the internal structure of a corset, architectural scaffolding in place of ornament. Midday light filters through sheer curtains. Embroidered with metallic thread, patterns reminiscent of muslin markings used during fittings. Furniture has a sharper silhouette here. Angular chaise lounges, chrome-edged marble consoles, a desk in black lacquer that seems to float above the floor, supported by hidden structure. It is couture masculinity without cliché, a quiet authority built into form. Its bathroom is a cathedral of smoked stone. Charcoal marble with gold undertones forms sweeping walls that curve inward, creating an embrace of architecture. A shower chamber stands like a sculptural vault, rainfall head hidden within a ribbed ceiling, reminiscent of gown boning. Vanities of onyx and brushed gold taper inward. Waistline architecture in material rather than fabric. Flooring warms beneath foot through radiant heating, the temperature calibrated like the perfect atelier environment. The third master suite is the dream. Color leaves the room. It exists in whispers of ivory, beige, and the faintest blush. Walls curve like muslin caught on a mannequin, the form implied but not visible. A floating bed rests on a recessed platform, illumination rising around it like diffused atelier light beneath a skirt. Above, a circular skylight diffuses daylight through frosted glass, pattern etched like tulle. It feels like existing inside the moment before a garment takes shape. Possibility held in tension. Its bathroom is a study in absence and restraint. Thasos marble surrounds, flawless, seamless, edges mitered so cleanly the corners dissolve. A single vanity, carved from a slab of ivory stone, appears to grow from the wall, supported by brass ribs like the inner structure of a dress shell. A mirror lifts from the surface when approached, activated by motion, rising like the reveal of a final look. This is not neutrality. It is the luxury of nothing left to prove. The walk-in closet is the only space that acknowledges obsession outright. Curved shelves in lacquered white wrap the room like a continuous ribbon. Drawers open with a weightless glide, silk-lined and stitched with thread of pearl seams. A central island in alabaster and chrome holds jewelry trays like vitrines at the Musée des Arts Décoratifs. Lighting is Atelier correct, neutral, perfect, surgical. Face, fabric, truth, all visible. The private office behaves like a confession. A desk in Dior gray lacquer and satin nickel faces a window angled toward the monument, the city submitting its horizon like a fitting. Shelves in resin and chrome display sculptural studies, pleats, folds, spirals, samples of couture techniques fossilized as art. It feels like a place where decisions shape silhouettes, not markets. And then, the terrace. The world opens. Paris unfurls beneath, a skirt of boulevards radiating from the Arc. Stone flooring in pale limestone is inlaid with brass seam lines, like the city has been tailored for the penthouse. Seating forms in cream leather and chrome arc in crescent shapes, like parentheses around conversation, around identity. Here the paradox resolves. Architecture as garment, garment as architecture. A home that wears its owner. This penthouse does not ask to be understood. It asks to be fitted. It asks to be inhabited like couture. It asks to be lived the way a gown is worn on the runway. Not for longevity, but for the impossible moment where everything is true. Because at $80 million, reality becomes personal, and couture is allowed to be a universe. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination.